Generic greetings and welcome back to Airships Conquer the Skies. Today's beverage is mango juice drink. That's really important. I probably should have put some more water in that. Anyway, in the previous video of Airships, we were making a fairly all-encompassing big block defensive system. So we've got a design and fight and the building editor. We can see open design that we built the land fortress, and the land fortress is fairly decent. It's about 3,000, well, it's exactly 3,246 generic units of currency, and it is fairly well armoured and armed, and the idea was to make something that is fairly all-encompassing, but is not stupidly prohibitively expensive, so we can't put like a 10,000 cost item on the table and just see it get wiped out because of Death Star syndrome with being too heavy or too expensive, and one little shot goes somewhere and the whole thing blows up. So it doesn't have that problem. It does, however, have a couple of weaknesses. Boarding could be an issue, but we've never seen anything get there, which, to be fair, that's, I guess, a good thing. And also, aerial hussars, if they go below the flak line, then they may take us out. But most things we flung against this thing, we did quite well. Obviously, long-range suspendium cannons might work, and high-level bombing, but again, we've got so many guns on this thing, not just because of the flak pointing up there, which will take out a lot of the anything aerial. The main forward-facing armament is it's prolific. We've got a heavy turret, we've got several cannons, also ones pointing aft as well, just so they don't try to get round the back and, well, have free reign there. And we've got, as part of the main armament, really, this sponsons all the way down the side here. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 sponsons lining the side on this one. So it's a fairly decent piece of kit, and that's pretty good. Now, I thought what could crack this thing, and I came up with not a lot of things. I thought maybe we could go for a full boarding vessel, so we could go to airships, and we could, for example, use, where would it be, in troops, and we could use, like, say, air dragoons. Now, these are ones that are equipped with suspendium backpacks, and what I'd do, honestly, is just make a carrier, so I have something like that, and then just say go, and then these would just charge towards it and board. And as you can see, the cost is 3,192. So with a little bit of suspendium, a little bit of a tiny thing to make it move, because the whole point is you just have to spawn it. It just has to be a legal vehicle. Then I think that would work out, and we might try that at some point, because, well, say for example, if we got rid of these bottom bits, oh, actually we'll get rid of like a couple of bits on the left there. That's 2,700. If we just put a large suspendium thing in there, so we say a large suspendium in there, that's got a positive service ceiling. In terms of armor, you just say wood wall. You don't need anything else. You can just cheapen it out, and that would probably do okay, assuming these don't get shot on the way in or go above the flak line, and that would be a bit of a problem. So we'll try that at some point, maybe even later on the video, but I want to try out something a bit different first. I want to go to the landship editor this time, and we want to go over to weapons and utilize something that we haven't really used in quite some time, and that is the acid spitter. So the acid spitter, it's a powerful acid extracted from the glands of horrifying creatures, capable of eating through even the strongest armor in time. Blast damage is 10, and blast distance is 8 meters. So the idea is that you just drive up to it and just spit loads of acid out. And we do have our direct damage as well as 30, so it's just going to cause a lot of damage in a fairly big area as well. I think there's only one other weapon in the game as standard, a massive rocket that has, splash distance 11 meters. Yeah, so that's slightly bigger, but won't cause much damage. The idea is that we go forward with this, and then just squirt as much acid on the structure as we can, and hopefully that'll take care of business. So let's do just that. Let's make a vehicle with probably only a couple of these. We don't want to have this thing silly. Let's go over to probably propulsion. And what do we want? Well, normally I'd go with, say, tracks like that, because tracks are quite cheap. The problem with tracks is, they don't really go very well when it comes to let's put small legs like that. We could have some small like that. That would probably function. Let's see how we get on, actually. Yeah, the legs are better because they can go up and over terrain a bit better, although there's better carry stuff on the tracks, I believe. Although, to be fair, you can have two sets like that if you do need that. Although then you might as well just go with medium legs, because that is a bit better. And I think that's probably what we'll go with, medium legs. So We'll go with medium legs. We'll go over to... Oh, there's no way up yet. But what we'll do is we'll put in probably... Let's go over to... Where would it be? Into resources and ammo store. We can place an ammo store there, and that'll allow them to go up. We do want a fire point somewhere, but we'll probably put it up there. I think that will probably be the best place for it. Actually, no, probably further back because we want a corridor going up. Although, do we? I'm not entirely sure. We'll see how we get on. We might not do... We might do away with a fire point and instead perhaps use... Do we need a fire point? Yeah, perhaps instead we will use a... Perhaps instead we'll use the fire extinguisher instead. Yeah, probably. Let's put that there, and we're going to put a small coal store there because this is only focused on getting to the location. That's all we care about. In terms of our crew, minimum crew is 7, but this isn't connected up, so that doesn't count yet. So we're probably going to aim for about 12 crew, which, if memory serves, would be exactly 1 of the quarters. That would be 12 crew, recommended 13, but it doesn't have that connected up, so maybe we need some more. We'll see how we get on. Maybe that there. Sadly, with that though, it doesn't. Because it doesn't have the connections there. We could only do that, and then we'll have to go up and round, and probably use actually, because we need some more crew. We'll put that there, and then just below that in resources, we could have a fire extinguisher there, which does then connect them all up. We don't have anywhere to issue commands to the vessel yet, but that is not a massive problem. We can go over to our command and crew, and do we want a crow's nest actually? Ideally we would, but I don't think... Actually, no, we don't need a crow's nest at all. It's 10% accuracy, but we're going to be like 5 feet from the from the target ideally. Telescope, same thing. Telescope's really good though, a 30% accuracy, much better than our crow's nest. But I mean, you stack them together. Targeting computer, probably not required for our preferred engagement range. In terms of what we haven't got, we don't have any... Where is it? We'll go to... We'll be in resources again. We don't have a reinforced supply hatch, which we'll put in. And that is technically a legal vessel, although we could probably do with just moving it down, getting rid of that, and then putting that there, and then that fixes the problem. We have got 14 crew, recommended is 14. Not great, but not terrible either. I think as something that's just going to go forward and get in there, that'll probably be acceptable, although we might go ahead and place the berth in there. In fact, what we could do, could be a bit cheeky and do that and stack the berths like so, and then that does mean we can have... No, we don't need something on the top though, it's just not necessary, it really isn't. That is 21 crew, that's slightly more than what is required. What about troops then? Could we put like a guard post in? We could. Guard barracks, 4 guards to protect the ship. We don't want to protect it, we want to have marines on board, but that's... No, we're getting outside of the scope of what we're trying to build here. So we're going to do that. We will put on the top... I mean, that's legit now, that's all fine. What we'll do on the top then, we'll go over to shapes and decorations, and what do we want to put on the top? We don't really need this, although... Do we want to just sort of use a slope at the back? That would probably be okay. Just rotate it there and then something like that. Yeah, it's a bit blocky, but yeah, that's fine. So it's called the Medusa, and I don't mind the name Medusa. We'll probably go with that. Let's go with... Actually, no, because we're probably going to name it after... We normally name it after cities and such, don't we? We'll leave it for that, actually. I think it's quite a decent one. And that's the maximum range, by the way, just in case you were wondering. In terms of overlay, let's look at our pathing. Pathing is great for the size of the vessel. Hit points, well, yeah, less to say about that, the better. Water, actually really good supply. We've got no repair tools, ammunition is fine, coal is perfectly acceptable, explosion damage, all kinds of bad. If something goes up, then that's pretty much it. In terms of armor, we could try put heavy steel armor on there. It's actually too heavy. What about steel armor? Steel armor will function, but the difference between the wood and the steel is minimal. Well, the wood armor is HP 50, absorbs 2 blast, 4 piercing. Steel is HP 50, 16 and 6, so it's a lot better there. Steel wall is probably better even still for in terms of cost, although actually no, it's not. Alright, we're probably going to go with steel armor. That'll be, ship is heavy and may have difficulty navigating terrain. That is true. You see the weight, it's currently 1,223 generic units of weight. Doesn't even specify. Does it not? Does it just say weight? Weight 3. Don't know what that is. Pineapples, perhaps. And it's against, well, its maximum is 1,350. But we're going to try that. We're going to save that design there as the Medusa. And let's leave and we'll have a little fight. So we'll go to combat and we've got a nice snowy bit here. So we'll go for, well, let's go for add building and we'll place in something around about the same cost. Well, actually, no, there's a Dark Cube version 2. So that is actually going to be cheaper. So we'll put that there. We'll add a land ship in here. The Medusa. We're going to put that in there, and actually, just to give it a bit of a fair fight, we'll put this as far back as possible, so we have to get there. So, I mean, this is not that fair because our points 953 versus 649. So we are overpointed by a couple of hundred points. Also, we have a nice flat grade here, level grade, just to charge at them. But I mean, if it fails here, we know that, well, we've pretty much messed it right up. So you can see the legs are taking us forward. It is heavy, so it is having a little bit of difficulty. You see it's sort of trying to do this sort of weird limbo thing. But we are getting there. I will put it onto rapid fire because as soon as we get in range, we're going to be spitting all this acid, and let's see how much damage it does. And immediately you can see what this thing can do. And, oh, did we lose there? Oh, we did lose a bridge there. You can see the damage that this is causing. It is taking a lot of armor off, and they've already lost the main dorsal, or the heavy cannon, or the dorsal cannon, I think, on the top there. The problem is that this is doing a lot of damage in and around the place, but it's not doing any great amount of destruction. So it's taking a lot of armor off and stripping it and doing that sort of thing. But as you can see, it is not blowing the thing up, which is a problem. We are out of command, and remember, we don't have a lot of crew, so we've already lost a couple of crew, and we are down to only one of these cannons. So that's not good. That is actually extremely far from good. It looks like we've run out of coal now as well, by the look of it. Oh no, the legs have been hit there, so we've now dropped down. I mean, this could still go either way, but one of those cannon shots into, oh yeah, into there is probably going to call us. It's probably going to call it. Yeah, there we go. They've taken it out. So we have actually lost that fight. That is not a good start. So we will leave that. Go back over to combat, and this time we'll put it on day. We'll go for a building, and this time we're going to put the land fortress in play. And once again, we will put it at the place that we will probably see it, which is near the back there. And, oh, we'll have to flip it round, and there we go. Actually, I want to try and level this land off a little bit for it. There we go. That should be about right. And now we have to stack a lot of these Medusas. So we'll go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, actually, no, that's well overpointed. And there we go. So we're actually underpointed by, we're 2,859 versus 3,246. I am not confident that 3 of these are going to be able to deal with this thing. But let's just move them forward and we'll see what happens. So you can see there's their first volley of shots coming out, and it's managed to hit a couple of things, but obviously with all the sponsons and everything else, it's more about the amount of firepower that it has rather than anything else. We're going to go on to, I've put on aim fire. I should have gone for rapid fire previously. Actually, did I put on aim fire in the previous one? I might have done. I might have been a massive mistake there. Might have been use error rather than design failure. Or it could be both. Probably is both. We're going to put on to rapid fire now. You can see we have lost the one at the front. However, we are doing some serious damage to that thing. You can see they are burning right at the front there. I'm going to get an explosion on the top. That has taken out the heavy cannon on the top there, or the heavy turret rather. They've lost, by the look of it, all their forward, or not all but one of their forward-facing cannons. The issue being, however, that it's covered in sponsons, so it doesn't really care. It really doesn't care at all. I'm going to say a ram and go to there, because I want to try and get as far forward as I can, but it doesn't look like we are going to survive this. In fact, it's now collapsed. There you go. So we now have these on the ground. It's fared a lot better than what I thought it would. Okay. Alright. Well, this, I think, shows, perhaps, that this does have an application, but perhaps we've made it slightly wrong. And when I say slightly wrong, I mean Wrong in oh so many ways. I think we need to stack a lot of these up. Instead of using 3, I think we need to use a lot more. So let's do that. Let's go over to the land ship editor. And we're going to open the design of the Medusa. We're going to get rid of these legs, and instead what we'll do is we'll go for something a bit cheaper, because the legs are... How much are the legs? We'll go over to propulsion. We can see that the medium legs are 160, whereas the standard tracks are actually 190. Ah, but they can carry more, right, and that is where we are falling down at the moment, because that can carry a hell of a lot more, which means we can stack a lot more guns on this, which is pretty much what we need to do. So we'll put that there. We will have... I think we'll put a bridge on it this time. I think a bridge would be a bit better. We do want some more of these fire points, and also some more ammo around the place as well. We'll put a bridge there, that in there, and sadly it's not all mutually accessible. We'll get rid of that. Do we want a bridge? Let's go over to command and crew. A bridge. Would a bridge be... Would a bridge really have a point? I don't think it would. No, I don't think there would be much point in it, actually. Anyway, we'll put that in there. We'll go for probably... Do I want to make it one higher? I think we might. And have that there. In terms of... Let's have a look. In terms of crew, we're undercrewed, but... What we could do, we'll have a fire point there, we'll have that up there, so we got ammo at the top and bottom. Again, movement, not really something I'm too concerned with. Not really something I'm too concerned with at all, because we just need to move forward and stop, that's it. We do need to connect them up. That is a bit of an issue at the moment. Command and crew here. And actually, no, yeah, command and crew, and we'll put berths up like that. And berths means that, as you can see, we now have a slow speed, but we do have almost the recommended. I'll put one like that, and then it means that we have 24 crew, recommended 23, and we have a massive gap in the centre for no other reason than, well, we just have. So what can we put in there? Something to make it look a bit better. Let's go over to shapes and decoration. And I'm just going to go around and see what we can have there. We can have some red lanterns just hanging down from it if we really want to do. That might look quite good. Light forward, put some lights facing back. Perhaps not. And we've got a figurehead that we could place, which... I was going to say, can we rotate it back? We probably could. I think there's like a nice dome, isn't there? Where is the dome? Not there. Oh, there it is. There's the dome. Ah, but it is only pointing up, sadly. Oh, we could put it up there. No, we don't need a little hat on it. Shapes and decoration. What about some stained glass? Structural? Nice stained glass window, perhaps? Because why not? You can actually walk around that as well. Stained glass window would fit in. If we got rid of those, are we really considering 2 stained glass windows? No, we're not considering 2 stained glass windows. That would be increasingly silly. Right, okay, I think, quite frankly, we're just going to go with probably some... probably just some slopes. I think we'll flip those. Hang on, rotate them. That one there, and then flip it, and then that one there, and we probably could put a backlight in it. Okay, it's got something going for it. It's got a little bit of something. We didn't put anything like a nameplate on it, so we'll go with that small steel nameplate, which can go near the bottom there. That's quite nice. In terms of some ornate stuff on it, we could put some coat of arms on it. That would be all right. In fact, I don't actually mind that. What about meteors and stuff? No. Flames, no. Mouth and eyes, no. I mean, no, we don't want any of that. Look at that. It's like, say, literally target here. That's where the ammo store is. We'll go for a medium coat of arms, and we'll put it there, and we'll save that design. And I think we'll just save it as... We will save it as version 2. I was hesitant there because, quite frankly, I thought, well, is there any point? So add building, we'll go for the land fortress here, and hopefully this will be a bit better for us. So yeah, I was hesitant because I thought, well, the first version we're probably not going to use again, but I mean, if this is even worse, then at least we can go back to that one. So at least the advantage now is we've got more guns, double the amount of guns, I believe. Double the amount of guns, 3 versus 6. We have double the amount of guns, and the price has actually just about doubled. Although, to be fair, if spamming them is not that efficient because it means you're having to have all of the support stuff together. So even though we've got more guns, it is cheaper because, you know, we're still supporting it with the rest of it. Whereas if you build the vessel, then obviously you have to put the tracks on there and all that sort of stuff. So having like this is probably better for us, and we are going to use 2 of them, even though we are overpointed. But let's just see how we get on. So we'll say move, and we'll move 2 there. You can see that we will not be moving terribly fast, and because of the weight of this thing, it's probably going to have a lot of difficulty getting over even a couple of trees. But by the look of it, it is slowly going forward, and we're about to lose an ammo store. We've lost an ammo store, and we've lost all connections. So it's too slow. Yeah, this isn't working out. Let's go over to rapid fire, and we'll see if this works. At least we have told it to get in there, so it will move forward and fire. So we now have a total of 12 guns in there, although we've just lost the main propulsion on the first vessel. That's not good. So it actually took us a lot longer to get in there, although we're just about to see the explosion of the big turret on the top there. We've lost one of the guns on the back, and the other ones are slowly getting chipped away. We do still have a little bit of firepower on the first one. Actually, no, we don't, because there's no connection between them, so no, it's not working out. In terms of the damage they're taking, it is substantial. It is very, very high. However, as you can see, once again, no, it's not destroying it. So I'm thinking even another redesign might be in order. Alright. I mean, the damage they've taken is severe, but because of the way it's built, it's still probably going to win that. Okay, one more try. It might just be the nature of the beast that them rows of sponsons are quite powerful. Let's go to building. I mean, buildings are powerful anyway, just because of how cheap they are. That's the thing. GDS turret is... actually, you know what? We'll put a white lookout on here. We'll put it up the hill there, and we'll say add a land ship and Medusa version 2. So in terms of cost, we are overpointed by about 400, but we'll see what we can do. So we're going to say there, we're going to ram further forward. You can see it is going to go through the trees without any great difficulty. The shots are whizzing in, and if we go further forward, would it be an advantage? I don't think it would, actually. Anyway, so shots are hitting it, and we are chipping a lot of it out, actually. So this is pretty good. Let's go to rapid fire there, because we just need to get the shots out before this thing dies. And basically, we won. They've only got 4 rifles. So it's the sponsons. The sponsons are what I thought, which are extremely powerful. I mean, it stands to reason that they can just keep firing. Normally, it's the first person to lose the front of their ship loses. That's the general rule of thumb. You take the front of the ship off, or whatever, and well, guess what? They've got nothing to fire back. Or you take the leading edge, I should say. It doesn't necessarily have to be the front. Whatever the leading edge of weapons is, you take that off, job done. Where in the other application, it's quite long, and these have got a limited range, so they can only target a certain point until they've chipped away. And also, because it's got a big row, when stuff blows up to the left, it doesn't take out the full row. So that's not too bad, that one. Let me go for one more try here. We'll go for building and the, where is it? The GDS turret version 1, and this has got a huge cannon, loads of standard cannons, all that sort of stuff. We will go for a land ship, and we're going to put the Medusa version 2 on there. And actually, do we want to move this a little bit further back? We'll move a little bit further back, give it a fair chance, fighting chance, and we'll say ram to there. I'm using ram just so it does definitely go through the trees, although it probably would there. You can see shots are... Oh, we've just been hit by lightning. That's never... that's never good. That's suboptimal. We've got... Oh, hell's bells. Okay, that's just fired and taken out a huge section of the thing out, and we're getting hit by lightning as well there, but we are quite happily chomping through that. That's pretty good. We are no longer under command, and we have lost one of the weapons, two of the weapons, in fact. But there we go. There's the Imperial Cannon now gone. With the Imperial Cannon destroyed, they are down to... I was going to say 2 cannons, but it's down to 1 now on the front. So basically, that's another win. And this was about the right points. They were just under 2,000 points. We are 1,700 and change. So, yeah, that works. Okay, then. The question is, what would be a better design? I'm thinking if we leave that, let's go over to... let's knock one up quickly. So we'll go over to our propulsion. And we could have large tracks. That would work. The weight, however, is not really of... It's not really something we want. That's 500. How much is the tracks? The tracks are a little bit cheaper, but the tracks are... Yeah, the tracks are a little bit cheaper, but not by a great amount. And the difference is that's 162 kilometers as standard, whereas the legs 157. So actually the tracks are not only cheaper, they can also carry more, and they are faster. Obviously, the big difference being that the tracks only have... the tracks, so they can get stuck easy. But we can easily retrofit this. So let's put one of those on there. We're going to go down to weapons and acid spitter, and the acid spitter will sit on here, because what I want to do is have it just basically go up like so. And I don't know how many we're going to put on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that's already very expensive, but we'll see what we can do. In terms of the ammo and such, I have a bit of a plan. We need to get this thing moving, so what we'll do is have... Where would it be? In resources and coal store. We'll place a coal store in like so. We'll put a fire point in... Actually, we won't put it there. We'll put a fire point in there. And then we're going to have in basic here, corridor with ladder running right the way up like that. And the reason for it is... Actually, we don't need the top one there. The reason for that is the ammo stores will be probably connected to 3. But what we'll do is that. And... that and that, okay? And the reason for that is we're going to put them on like little jetties going along, which is with standard corridors here, and that means that when things blow up, and I do stress when, they'll hopefully just take themselves out. If we go to overlay and to explosion damage, you can see, yes, they are not going to take out much. Oh, that's a problem though, so I don't know if we need... No, that's actually okay. We could probably get rid of that then and put a small coal store in like that. That'd be better for us, for our needs. Okay, that's fine. Right. What I might do as well actually is get rid of all these, and the reason for that is we can change that to a steel supply hatch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that should hopefully have enough to make it move. Right. So that's in. In terms of crew, we do need a lot of it. So we will go over to command and crew, and we'll have a quarters at the top. 2 quarters. Minimum crew is saying... Actually, you know what? We'll just put them on top like that, on each one. There's... 36 minimum crew, or 48 crew, recommended crew 44. Excellent. We just need a bridge then, and the bridge can go... where can the bridge go? We don't actually need a bridge really. We just need probably a cockpit. Place it back there. That's technically legit. It is the stupidest thing I think we've ever made, and that's saying something. Heavy steel armor, perhaps? Ooh, that makes it expensive. We'll go for standard steel armor. There we go. Right. This is called the Corrector. I don't mind that. In terms of decoration, we could place some decorations on it. Some shapes, maybe. Do we have time for that? We have time for that. I mean, we could just, like, put some struts across. That might look quite good, actually. Like, having the struts like so. It's as if it's like a supporting frame, in essence. Yeah, I quite like that. I don't mind that at all. Is there not a one? A oneer? I think there might be. We'll just do that. There we go. There's the supporting frame. I thought there was a standard support frame. Actually, you know where it'll be? It'll be in structural, I'm guessing. Yeah. Accessible struts. Huh. That's a strut I was looking for, you see. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. There we go. Just checking the explosion damage. That's fine. Right. I think we're about sorted. I don't think we need to connect it up like that, do we? How much is that actually increasing the thing by? 3,800. Get rid of these. 3,700. I mean, it's a noticeable amount, but I prefer those in like that. I just think it has something a bit better about it. Right, okay, so in terms of armor, we're pretty much sorted. We will put in, I think we'll put on, rather, a nameplate, put a corrector there. If we wanted to, we could put these back there, and I quite like that. Save the design. This is the corrector, and let's see if it is actually garbage. So we'll go for a day fight. We'll go for a land ship. We'll put the corrector in like so, and we need to put the enemy on. So 3,700. So add building. Even putting in the stupidly overpowered land fortress. Yeah, it's already 500 points. Hang on, 2. Yeah, 500 points. Cheaper, and we're putting it at the. That's a good pause, isn't it? Look at the shot there. Yeah, so we're already starting at a very good advantage here because of the where we are. We're going to say move forward, and we are taking an absolute pasting there, but you can see that we are. Oh, good grief! We're so high up that the flak can shoot us. Oh, good grief! That was not expected. So it looks like we are managing to take out a fairly decent section of them here. They've lost the guns at the front there. We have lost our propulsion, but we haven't yet lost command. I haven't actually had a super beverage yet. I think I'll neck it. Right, so we haven't lost command, but we have lost propulsion, but it's now structure versus structure. The problem is that we're chipping away like this. Eventually, we're going to hit our max range, and we're probably going to hit it soon. Now, you can see there, the thing has split in half, and that would normally be all kinds of bad, and it is still kinds of bad, but because these are essentially individual free guns and weapon sections, that we can happily have that happen, and the crew is still going to go around and still keep firing. But there you go. We're now out of... We're now out of range, and we can't fight back. Okay, we'll leave. We're going to go over to the landship editor. Open the design. I'm going to open, where is it? Corrector, and we're going to get rid of that bridge. We need a proper. We'll get rid of the cockpit. We need a proper bridge on here. Where do I put it? Is the question. I have no idea. Ideally, it want to be near the bottom. What I'll do is, do I really want that water point? I could put the water point further back. I could put these in like so. What I'll also do is place a cockpit at the top there. Just so we've got like a secondary command section. And we will delete at these sections here the connectors, and then instead resources we will put a fire extinguisher like that, and that means that we should hopefully have good water. Right, so save the design. I'm not going to version 2 it. I think that is about right, and we'll say nice snowy day perhaps. Night fight, fog, no, day. So add a building. Once again, we're going to put the land fortress on there right at the front, because this is just insane. Landship corrector, it can go in there, and we will. Oh, that's a question. Do we want to stay further back, knowing that the flak can shoot us? I think we probably do. And then we're just going to go on to rapid fire there and get as many shots out as possible. You can see we are still getting hit by some of the flak, but standing here, it means there's an advantage to it. Firstly, we're not going to get attacked off the terrible amounts of flak, and also it means that once we got out of range, we can then move forward and then just chop through it. The disadvantage is that if we lose our propulsion, then it's pretty much game over, and I think what we need to do is hop forward just so we're in range, because the ones at the top there are out of range. Oh, you might notice now that it's taking a lot of time for me to issue a command, and the reason for that is that we have actually... Oh, good grief. Yeah, we'd actually lost the bridge. And we were just using the cockpit at the top there, and yes, it's another failure. So I think we can probably leave it there and call that an absolute bust. Whether or not it's to do with the acid spitters themselves not being fantastic, I think they're great, but it proves in the pudding, really. It does a lot of splash damage, but doesn't really seem to take stuff out, because you need something like that just goes through in pieces and then blows it up, which is where your cannons come in. Stacking them like that is expensive. Maybe the vessel that we put them on wasn't the best thing. Maybe something that flies would be better, but then you're going to have the same sort of problem. I think that was a relatively cheap design. Or it could just be that the things we were putting up against were fairly decent. In fact, we know that land fortress is a very good structure, so maybe it's that. Maybe I'm just sort of surmising here. Either way, I've enjoyed trying that out. If you have any ideas and changes for that design, then by all means let me know, and we might revisit that. If you have any ideas for what we can build in the future, then by all means pop them in the comments. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.